Welcome to the Wildcats Podcast, coming to you from Wildcats Studios, with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Welcome into Wildcats Studios for the Season 9 premiere of the Platinum Award-winning and longest-running QMJHL podcast, the Wildcats Podcast, your unofficial voice for all things reigning 2025 Gilles Courteau Trophy champion Moncton Wildcats, presented by Discount Flooring Center, a division of Fabulous Flooring. They are home to the largest variety of high-end, current, and discontinued lines in hardwood, ceramic tile, laminate flooring, luxury model tiles, and even blinds for immediate purchase. Located at 320 Collishaw in Moncton. Give them a call at 506-859-9909. As always, NFL listeners, I am your host, Adam Lund, and I am joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. YQM, Mr. Starbucks, the newest podcast dad, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. How was your summer? I got through that and didn't make one mistake.
Wow. Jeez, no, what is it? No, not rookie jitters, but, look, it's so good to be back. I know we have a lot of people that have been waiting for this show to come back. They've been asking, when are you guys doing your first episode? When's it coming out? And we're happy to bring this to everybody on the 20th of August. Believe it or not, we're almost done August. The summer was good. Mr. YQM might not be Mr. YQM this year because I'm not going, so we'll have to figure something out. But Mr. Starbucks is now replaced by Mr. White's Shaker Cup. But hey, we'll figure something out. But summer was good. Obviously being a new dad, he had a chance to find some new TV shows to watch. So we got into The Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So that's a good one. First season, they brought the Golden Bachelors onto the season.
Oh, okay.
The old, the I shouldn't say old, the Golden. Yeah,
Golden.
It's Golden. Let's call them the Golden Age.
Yeah.
The Golden Age folks. So I'm heavy into that Bachelor in Paradise stuff, and Jays are doing great.
Jays are doing like crazy good.
Yeah. So it's been a pretty fast, but eventful summer.
It's weird because everyone's like, "Oh, it's a short off season. It's a short off season," and I'm like, we end the same time, whether they're out in round one in the past couple of years or they go all the way to the title. Like last year, we end at the draft in June. So for us, it's a regular off season, but it doesn't feel like it was any shorter, but it also feels like it was shorter. Like it just ended and we're back. We're back in camp. How's Bo progressing? How's it going? What is he, 3 months old now?
He is 2.5 months.
Okay.
So I went to the doctor's last Thursday, and he is in the 85th percentile for weight.
Nice.
And I'm not sure where he gets the height from, but 98th percentile for height. So, I mean, for anybody who doesn't understand math, that would mean that of every 100 kids born, only 2 are taller than him at this point. So I don't know where he gets the height from. I've been the same height since I was 14 years old. And
Kiva's the exact, not the exact opposite, but she's in like the 80th percentile, I think. Lilo messaged me after reading this going, no, she's not. She's not as tall as she should be, but she's like just little. Like she's so little. It's crazy how some are so tall, some are so little. How did you adjust to the late nights and all that? There
was always something on TV.
Yeah,
there was always something on TV. It was either catch up on an episode of something or if I fell asleep in the 4th inning of a Jays game, Jays in 30 was on, and it made those late night wake ups a lot easier just because there was always something to do. And those days are behind us now. There's no need to wake up in the middle of the night. And
he sleeps through the night.
Yeah,
he sleeps through the night.
Yeah. So last
Kiva.
Yeah. So Thursday, again, same doctor's appointment. We went there, and we'd always been waking him up every couple of hours to feed him. The doctor's like, he's doing so good, like that's not necessary anymore. So Thursday night, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to take a melatonin.
Yeah.
So Thursday night, I fell asleep at 10:30 and didn't wake up till 8:15.
Wow.
And Friday, same thing. Went to bed at 11. Didn't wake up till 8 o'clock in the morning. So I've been,
Energized, juiced, ready to go.
Oh yeah, ready to go. Like it's just the mornings feel a lot different now.
Yeah.
Because it's, you're not waking up at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock and then 7 o'clock to get ready for your day.
Well, one of us isn't.
So it feels a lot better. Life is better. I'm starting to catch up on my sleep, so I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, Miss Kiva's not so much. I mean, she goes to bed I put her to bed between 6:30, 7:30 in that range, and she isn't really a fan of it. And then she goes to bed till probably 2 a.m. Sometimes she wakes up at like 11:30, and so I'll give her a nice little like pat, tell her it's okay, go back to sleep, or I'll give her a little bit of bottle, but and then she sleeps till like 4:35. But she went on her first airplane last week.
There you go.
Which she would have slept right through from the time we loaded till the time we landed if Air Canada knew what being on time was. And this was before the strike. And again, I don't remember the last time, honestly, we were delayed. I think every time I talk about flying with you, we're delayed at some point. But she woke up while we were sitting there, happy as can be, looking around. There's a family with kids in front of us, so that helped. And then by the time we got in the air, it was like 7:15. So she slept the whole time we were in the air. When we were coming down, we landed. She just started to move, and then she kind of woke up and wasn't really a fan of it. But then we had to go get a car rental, and that took about an hour. So by the time we got to the hotel, it was midnight.
Messes everything up.
Yeah, and luckily they said, "Oh, you're in a king room." I didn't pay for it. My work did. You're in a king room, and I was like, I don't care what room I'm in. It's midnight. As long as the baby goes back to sleep, I'm good. Oh, you have a baby? I upgraded you to a king suite. Perfect. That'll work.
Love it.
So they're there right now. She stayed back visiting family. So this is the longest I've gone without seeing her and being around her. And so I'm so glad you're back because it's been quiet. I mean, I do have a billet here, which has been nice, but it's been quiet around the house. But it's just, I don't know about you, but you see them every day because you're working from home, right?
Yep.
And I was off for 6 months.
Yeah.
You put them to bed.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you do that for a bit. And then you go, when did you get so big? Like you're with them every day and somehow they grow right before your eyes and so fast.
It's insane. It really is. It's like, I think he's like 15 pounds now or something like that.
It's bigger than Kiva.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
I think she's 16.8, but
I don't understand. Like my niece in Ontario, is 7 years old, and she weighs 40 pounds. And I'm like, you are almost. Well, I mean, it's mathematically still 25 pounds to go, but you're not even 3 months old, and you only have 25 pounds to go to weigh the same as your 7-year-old cousin. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. He's going to be a big boy. Don't know if he's still gonna be around in 2041, but I already told Taylor, his first round pick's already locked up.
And fun fact, he has the choice between the Q and the O because his mom's from Ontario. So he's got that loophole.
Yeah,
he's got that loophole.
Yeah, I never even thought about that one before. So it's a good call out.
Yeah, it's either Moncton or it's Barrie. One of the two.
Well,
he can go that route.
Do you find not going to that mess in Niagara? Let's put it that way.
No. Do you find a lot's changed from Avery to Bo? Because I found a lot changed with Haley. I mean, it was 21 years ago, but like now Layla will use like ChatGPT to answer questions, or there's so many more toys, or don't do this, or you need to do this kind of stuff. And I felt like with Haley, and maybe it's because I was 21 too, but it was just like, here's your baby, go.
Yeah.
And like, I don't remember putting her down for naps and sleep times and wake windows and measuring that and sleep progressions and all that stuff. I don't remember all of that stuff. And I don't know. I mean, yours was 10 years ago. So
honestly, it's just like starting all over again. Like we don't remember, bottle feeding Avery every 2 hours in the night. Like we don't remember that doing that stuff. And so it's just been a huge adjustment, but things have been going really, really well. And he's happy, he's healthy, he's just going like crazy. Like it's another year, I might be like a 40-pound baby, just.
Hey, the best ways to make money are a right shot defenseman or a left tackle in the
well,
NFL. So
yeah, he's on his way. On his way, it's very possible. We'll see.
Alrighty, well, we figured we'd catch you up on our baby stuff because it's been a while since we chatted about them, and who doesn't like talking about their kids?
Yeah,
who doesn't like talking about their kids? All right, so don't forget, as always, you can follow us on the social medias: Twitter, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram, Wildcast Podcast, TikTok, Wildcast Podcast, as well on the YouTube. Please don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. Lets us know you like what we're doing. Click that bell so you don't miss any of the weekly podcasts, or we may have live podcasts from time to time. Well, it's training camp season, so we're gonna kick it off with a quick question. Training camp style. It's a keep, it's a trade, or it's a cut.
Oh, is it player related?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Good.
Imagine. Yeah, we're gonna do that for each team other than our own.
Yeah.
But it's reality shows, and it's your favorite reality shows.
Okay. Yep.
It is Big Brother.
Okay.
Amazing Race Canada.
Oh. Okay.
Or Hell's Kitchen.
Rig.
Yeah.
So what does it keep?
You gotta keep one, and you gotta trade one, and then you gotta cut one, and the one you cut goes away forever.
Okay. I'm going to cut Big Brother just because this season I'm still watching it.
Is my guy there?
He's still around. Yeah, mine's not. So whatever. No comments. But the previous seasons, at this point, I had already given up on them.
Yeah.
This season just happens to be kind of an outlier because I brought back Rachel Riley, who's like a Big Brother legend, and she's on the show, so she kind of makes it interesting. And but if it wasn't for her, I don't think I'd still be watching. So I'll cut Big Brother.
Same.
And it's keep or trade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep Amazing Race Canada because it's Canadian. This season's really good. I like how it is actually Canada. It's actually Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Amazing Race USA. They travel around the world. They don't really show off their own country. In Canada, you're actually showing off your own country. I think they've only gone outside of Canada one season, and they did a leg of the race in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's the only time they've gone outside of Canada. So I'll keep Amazing Canada, and I will trade Hell's Kitchen just because, again, Hell's Kitchen's starting to be a little predictable. And Gordon Ramsay's kind of branching out and doing different things now. MasterChef's really been fun to watch, and his Secret Service, as scripted and as it is, clearly scripted. Yeah, there's this man sneaking into a restaurant at 2:00 in the morning. We have it on camera. We should probably call the police. Really?
Yeah, but he's got an insider that gives him a key. So.
Yeah.
So
who's this person going in a restaurant at 2:00 in the morning when we're closed?
Yeah.
Come on.
You're walking by and you just see like this flashlight in this restaurant. You're just like,
hello, 911. Yeah, there's an intruder inside my restaurant.
That's absolutely normal. I'm the same. The same three. Cut Big Brother for obvious reasons. Amazing Race Canada. I do like that it's more Canadian. We watched the American one just because it's something to watch, and she's all like, I want to travel to these countries, and I'm like, I'm not eating that stuff. Although if you can find chicken tenders anywhere, I'm good. And then Hell's Kitchen, you probably trade. Do you watch MasterChef?
Off and on.
Did you watch this season?
No, I did not.
So they, how it gets kind of stale.
Yeah.
This one's like duos, so it's couples or friends or families or whatever. So it's been pretty good for that one. So I figured it was better than ranking like we did it to end last year. So might as well do a little bit of a something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I knew those were your three favorite shows. I was going to put Big Brother Canada, but I was like, I don't think there is a Big Brother Canada anymore.
There's not. But I do have permission from my wife that if it comes back, I'm allowed to apply.
Nice.
So there we go. Bring back Big Brother Canada.
Layla wants to apply to the Amazing Races, and every time I watch it and somebody does underhanded stuff, like those two brothers stealing the cab and costing them. Spoiler alert! It was like episode 2. I'm a week and a half or a week behind. I I can't. I would lose it. Oh, I would lose it. Like that shady underhand stuff, I would lose it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a good season. I thought it was kind of cool. They went to. I don't know if I could have eaten that food that was up in the Northwest
The
Territories.
north, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it muskrat?
Muskrat.
Yeah. I mean,
these poor girls from Charlottetown. The one. Spoiler alert. We'll see her later on. Not in this season, but not in this podcast, but in the season.
Yeah.
Was she a vegetarian? Is that why she couldn't eat it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I missed that and she just wasn't eating, and I'm like.
Yeah. And then Louis, who was paired with his mother, obviously saw how much of a struggle it was for them, so he just goes and eats the food.
Yeah. I was like, my dad reflex kicked in. I just ate the food. I was like, yeah, I'm sure her being a blonde and cute had nothing to do with the fact that you wanted to help them out.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get to some news and notes from around the league.
News and notes from around the queue.
Well, there's been some movement in the CHL and the NCAA. We're going to say news from around the league, but this is about it. And then we're going to get into kind of Moncton news because there's been a lot in the 3 months. But I mean, in the CHL, I don't think there's been a better team that has benefited from this rule change than Moncton, which it was a little surprising. I thought Halifax maybe. I thought London definitely would. Edmonton, the bigger markets. But in the NCAA, I mean, Penn State just has everyone. Obviously the biggest fish was Gavin McKenna.
Their schedule is so weak.
Yeah. Luca Misa, Shane Van Olm, who had doesn't have his points there, but he was top scorer for Spokane going all the way to the finals last year. Jackson Smith, one of the top D-men in the WHL. And then of course they got Josh Fleming, but you just go to the tracker and the Q didn't get hit nearly as hard as the OHL and the WHL. Like Henry Muse from Sudbury's going to Michigan. There was Porter Mertone was going somewhere. I think it was Michigan State.
And I didn't even keep track, but
yeah. Brampton, Misa going to Penn State. Jack Ivan Konch, Michigan. Yeah. Porter Mertone, Michigan State. Not only did you just move to a new city to try and get traction, but your 3 best players are going the NCAA route. So
that's tough.
It's tough, and I know there was a lot.
You can't recover from that.
No, I know there was a lot of the CHL's dead. The CHL's dead. Well, there's 200 guys invited to Q camps, and we're going to talk about the camp in a little bit, but it was one of the better camps for a rookie camp that I've seen in a long time, just due to the fact that it's older veteran style players. It wasn't 16-year-olds.
Yeah, the U.S. market, it's just a crazy world that we live in right now. With I think we're fortunate enough to have the organization and the hockey ops staff that can attract these Americans to Moncton and get them to sign, and it's obviously paying dividends already. With we locked up Chudzinski, we locked up Wiener, we locked up Lyle, Robertson Palmer. It's Moncton's really benefiting, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. We got let's not forget about Teddy Muttrin too. These are guys who probably wouldn't have played in the Q if it wasn't for this NCAA rule change. So that's 5 guys. Delicious. 5 guys that are going to be big parts of this team, not just this upcoming season, but at least two seasons. And it's you're not seeing that in other markets, right? St. John got Cameron Chartrand, who's probably going to be a really good player, really good D in the league.
But they also lost Sears.
Ben
Sears.
He wasn't going to come either.
No, he wasn't going to come either. But that's a name that had the option, but you lose out on that, right?
Yeah. And you look at the Ramparts, who still don't have Scantlebury. They reused all those picks to get him, and they're the 2 Americans they got. Carter Meyer and he was one of the Meyer kids, and I can't think of the other kid's name, but Moncton, at this point, Moncton's benefiting the most out of these rule changes, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's going to change every month. There'll be something different, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when cuts are made in the NCAA, or guys, don't get the spot they thought they were going to get in the NCAA. I mean, I don't understand McKenna. Again, the CHL screwed up by not giving Medicine Hat the Memorial Cup. Would it have helped? Would he have stayed? I don't know, but at least you give him a better shot.
Yeah.
But like, they play, I think, 30 games in total in Penn State, and he's going to play what, 15? Because he's going to miss half of it for the World Juniors. He's going to leave in December and not come back till January. So, and then the draft year, and again, he doesn't have to prove much. I mean, his last 2 years in Medicine Hat has been fantastic, but
when you're getting $750,000,
yeah,
that helps.
Yeah. Same with Cole Ritchie of Victoriaville. I know they lost somebody else that I can't think of. Like, they got hit hard. Like, it's just going to change the landscape of how teams build their teams. You're not going to build for a 19-year-old season. You may have to build for an 18-year-old season. And I think I've said this to you before. I just wonder not how lucky, but how lucky are we that our GM Taylor used to be a player agent and maybe saw this writing on the wall.
Yeah.
In terms of like, hey, Dad, just letting you know there could be some changes, and you had an undefeated season, so what more can you do?
Hey, maybe we can ask him.
Yeah. Hey, so did you know this was coming? I wonder if he would. But it's a perfect storm, and they've benefited very much from it. And I mean, I'm sure Halifax and bigger markets in the OHL and stuff like that are going to catch up with this, and maybe some people just aren't comfortable with doing this model. And I worry for the smaller markets that have to compete with. I mean, you saw Drummondville, they're making additions to their arena. I think another team is playing, somebody else is. Chicoutimi. And that's a team, they're kind of hanging on Tynan Lawrence, who is one of the players. Like, forget the CHL getting hit hard. The USHL got hit hard with defectors from there to the CHL or to the NCAA. And he's the biggest name that didn't go anywhere. Good on him for staying, but you wonder if that changes down the road.
You wonder if that changes if maybe we trade for his rights at Christmas. You never know.
Or somebody trades for
his rights. It's just nothing against Chicoutimi. They're going to be a really good team this season. But I think a player like Tynan Lawrence going into a draft year, he wants to play in a building where he knows there's going to be scouts in the rink every night. It's, again, nothing against Chicoutimi, but I don't know if scouts go to Chicoutimi every night to watch Q hockey.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that develops, and if his rights get traded, maybe he does play in the Q.
100%. And it's a fluid situation, and we should have. And as I'm saying this, I had his name in my mind before I said it. The guy we had last year, Mark or McMahon.
Oh, yeah.
Have him on again just to see how the landscape changes once the NCAA season gets going. Reported pretty much everywhere, but is not made beneficial by the Moncton Wildcats. So we are going off other reports. Caleb Denway will miss up to 12 weeks with wrist surgery. That's a tough one for him. For Utah, again, you talk about a kid that had NCAA. I'm sure there's not a school that didn't want him. Yeah. But to not have him till at least maybe early November means he'll be here for about a month before he goes to World Juniors if he goes there. So a tough way to start for a season. I just kind of wonder why it took so long.
Yeah, I mean, you wait for a week before Q training camps. Utah waits a week before Q training camps to decide that to put him under. And I mean, here as a Moncton fan, you kind of wish that decision was made a little sooner. But let's look at the positive things here. He played with bad wrists the majority of last season, and look at the numbers he put up. Right, once those are 100%, if you're getting again, don't know how badly he was hurt last season, but let's say he played 75%. He was 75% last year. He had the season he did. Well, when he comes back 100%, that's going to be hit.
Yeah, that's
going to hit. Like, that's going to be like hitting the lottery. And November's not too late, right? Like, that's maybe he misses 15, 20 games. You're still going to have all the second half. to just go on an absolute tear. And by the looks of it, we're probably making another run out of this year, and that could be a reason why he's. I think a lot of us were on pins and needles if he was going to go NCAA.
Yeah.
Because look, he gets announced as captain at the celebration back in early June. Then he's getting drafted. It's a couple weeks later, and then he's telling people at media day, still don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's goals to make Utah.
Yeah, like that's when you hear stuff like that, you're like, oh man, like is he actually going to flip on Moncton?
Yeah.
And you knew he wouldn't do that, but I think that was just that subtle. You don't have that I guess that
assurance.
confirmation, that assurance.
Yeah.
You want to go out and prove to the player that we want to win again, and I think Taylor's done that.
Yeah.
And and that again could be very, very well why he decided to stick around, because the NCAA programs maybe found out that he was going to be out and they decided to pull away.
Yeah.
But it would be nice for him to be in the building for that banner raising, and I'm sure he will be. And
that's the hope.
Yeah.
I mean, there's before Remembrance Day, there's 16 games. And again, it's really hard to know when you're rebuilding and who's contending and stuff like that till it kind of gets going. But we play Newfoundland, who was Bathurst last year. Obviously, they're going to be very good. And then we don't play another quote unquote contender until Blainville on November 6th. So, So there's if he's going to be out earlier is much better than later. Congrats to Antoine Samuel, who won the bronze medal at the Helenka Gretzky Cup with Team Canada. Speaking of Team Canada, Garden MacDougall will be an assistant coach at this year's World Junior Tournament in Minnesota. And speaking of coaching, we lost assistant coach Dustin Friesen, who's headed to the Calgary Hitmen for a head coach job. Can't fault him for that. So we brought in Michael Tam. Believe he was coaching with Seminars Blizzard, right?
Blizzard, yeah, in the U18 Quebec circuit. Yep.
So again, they just add a young coach with a lot of experience to this team. I don't know much about him because you follow more of the Quebec team, but what do you know about Mr. Tam? Yeah,
so probably one of the more up and coming, coaches on the rise in Quebec. So it's good to get it's good to lock him up and get him to Moncton. And people make jokes about it's funny he's back in the same city as Patrice Cormier. Anybody who I mean, if you've been a Q fan for a long time,
I was like, Jeremy, what does this mean? Somebody said, if you know, I think it was you that said,
yeah,
if you know, you know. And I was like,
if you know,
I don't know. So please tell me.
Yeah. So if you've followed the Q for many years, you'll know the Michael Tam and Patrice Cormier connection. Not going to go into detail because it's not our place, but anytime you can lock up a coach that's on the rise like that, it's going to help not only the young players that are coming up, but he's going to help the vets kind of develop as well. And I'm excited to he is behind the bench for the inter-squad game, so he's already in town, ready to go.
And I think that was one of the worrisome things last year too. Is obviously it wasn't public knowledge on what the MacDougall's contracts were, and everybody speculated one and done with the team to go win a championship and then maybe get an NHL job and this and that. But they brought back all the staff other than, Dustin Friesen went to get a head coaching job. If he doesn't get that, maybe he's back and they bring the whole staff. So it just shows the commitment to, as you talked about with Caleb, like bringing back the whole coaching staff, bringing in all these players. Like it's just, this is what we're doing to try and extend our window. And I think you said, as long as the MacDougalls are here, that's your window, but trying to extend a back-to-back window before everybody kind of figures out how this NCAA landscape can go.
Yeah, there's still one trophy that's been eluding this organization, and I think as long as Taylor and Gardner are around, that's going to be the one that they hunt for. Year in and year out. So I've always wanted to go to Kelowna, maybe on a wine tour, but it could be another one on the horizon.
And just like I said to Taylor last year at training camp, like Rimouski's beautiful in May and June. Like I've heard it's absolutely beautiful. It was, but if you think that was beautiful,
Yeah,
if I got a place,
country.
yeah, if I got a place for you in Kelowna. So, all right, let's get to some weekly rewinding.
Weekly Rewind.
And the weekly rewind is brought to you by Alpha's Appliance Solutions. Right now, they've got the KitchenAid Red Hot Savings Event. Save $600 when you purchase any two. Save $600 when you purchase any 3 qualifying KitchenAid appliances. Save $800 when you purchase 4, or $1,200 when you purchase 5 from now till October 1st. Not too bad on that one. For those and any other deals, go to appliancesolutions.ca. The Wildcats kicked off their 30th anniversary season with a rookie camp this past Thursday to Saturday. I will say, like I said a little bit earlier, the pace of this camp has been much faster. The games got better as the days went on. And I think a lot of it has to do with the older rookies that were here. I mean, we had some cuts overall, no real names that stood out, but I guess for you, what or who kind of stood out for you in these first couple of days of camp?
Well, I mean, the guys that have already signed are apples and oranges day and night above the rest. You're talking like Chudzinski and Blyle, Robertson, Palmer, and Wiener. Like those guys really stood out all 2 days. Like it's Chudzinski. Well, I think we described him as a man amongst boys.
Yeah,
and he was just totally
Chud the stud,
just dominating all 3 of those inter squad games. Nikash is just so smart and just reads his plays really well. Batchelder, you kind of make a joke that, didn't score once in Junior A last season and just comes in and rips one in that OT of that Saturday morning inter squad game. So, I mean, that
we're going to go 10 minutes, 5-on-5, first to score, less than a minute,
10 seconds.
Snap.
Yeah.
Top shelf.
It was what a shot. And those are the guys that you want to stand out. It's Camden Jackson looks like he's going to be like a really good 2-way kind of shutdown guy, and it kind of gets you excited for what's to come, right? And things are only going to ramp up. So at this point, you got to see of those rookies who's going to stand out against the veterans, right? And it's going to get tougher, so it's going to be more physical, and you got to be ready for this. And so looking forward to this obviously coming out Wednesday, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but we'll be at that inter squad game Monday night. We'll be at the exhibition game Tuesday, and then that's why I don't really want to talk about too much, because there's a lot that's going to happen in the next few days. And
by the time we get back here in 2 weeks, there could be a lot of different looking roster, and
we'll probably be down to
and we like
more or less a roster.
Sometimes have a roster in the start of training camp to see how good it goes, and I couldn't find a wheel because I was going to be like, all right, let's pick this guy, because it's a competitive camp.
Yeah.
All right, and as we say, it's tough to put together a roster, and what we're going to do, we actually are going to be joined by someone who has put this team together. We're pleased to be joined by the architect of the Moncton Wildcats, GM Taylor MacDougall. Taylor, how are you tonight?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Good to be back.
Yeah, good to. Like I said off the start, it feels like a shorter off season, but we usually go to the draft and then start. So, how's it been off season wise for you? Did you actually get a chance to rest?
It was a pretty busy off season that way, if you could call it that. But no, it was good. We were working pretty much right into training camp, but like we've said before, short off seasons are a good problem to have. So all good.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, a few days into camp now. Just what are your thoughts on how things are going?
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been I've really enjoyed watching it. To be honest, like we're fortunate. I think the level the first 3 days today was our first day of call it main camp or having the older guys in. But the first 3 days with the younger or the new players was really enjoyable to watch. We were fortunate with the skill level that we got to evaluate, and we're looking forward to continuing to evaluate it this week.
I want to talk about our tariff-free editions, as I've been calling them, with the American players, because everything's being tariffed except for the NCAA guys. But like I said early on, I mean, there isn't a CHL team that's benefited from this rule as much as we have. So I guess for some of the fans of the players and seeing all these Americans, I mean, how long have they been on the radar? How much of it just came together once the rule change happened and you guys went into overdrive while trying to put a championship together? Or just how much of that craziness has happened a couple of years and into this summer?
Yeah, I guess. And obviously every player has a little different backstory and things like that. But
right.
The changes were a little bit, in a way simultaneous with beginning to build a roster for this season, right? Like we were obviously really fixated on the day-to-day last season, and kind of the wins and losses throughout the week. But then we weren't very long in our kind of tenure here when those rule changes did happen. So, it was nice where there were certain players that we had spoken to prior to those rule changes, and we planned on being very aggressive, even if the rules didn't change. And then when they did, it just sort of fast tracked, and then in some cases expedited, and then in other cases expanded, kind of recruiting searches and efforts and things like that. But overall, it's really exciting, and I think every team in this league will benefit from it, and our league will benefit from it. Like I think the caliber of the league will go up, and we just hope to be a part of that.
Yeah, looking at some of the guys that were drafted last year, attending their second camps, like Batchelder and Nikash and Wiener and Morissette Richer. Like, what improvements have you seen from those guys compared to, I guess, last August?
Yeah, it's a big difference going from kind of your first camp experience to your second, for a variety of reasons. But you kind of have that confidence. It's not all, not everything's new. You kind of know where to go. You know the routine a little bit. You're a year older. You're a year further into your development. So I think in all those players' cases, they're all players that they're really excited about evaluating and really excited to have in the organization. But we notice a big jump in kind of their confidence. Even a guy like Victor, he shows up and you can just, he's got, you can just tell he's got a year of life experience under his belt too. I think there's been a really big jump in that player's development in the last year as with the other ones. So you definitely notice a difference.
When you're kind of putting your off-season puzzle together, and what players could look like and all that kind of stuff, did it make it a little bit easier when Rudy decided to come back? A, because he played so well for us last year, and B, maybe you don't have to go spend some assets on a goalie and you can keep those assets for the deadline to improve in another place or something like that. Does that kind of stuff make it a little easier when a goaltender of his caliber kind of comes back and you're like, cool, we got our starter, now we can build around and build out from there?
Yeah, well, it was so key for so many different reasons, like ones that you mentioned there. Yeah. Knowing that our decor is something that we're hopeful and we're excited about, but it's also one that's going to be light on experience in this league. So to have a layer behind them that does have experience in that league, we think that that's super important. And then you factor in the caliber of goaltender we believe Rudy is, and the person that he is. And kind of the presence that he brings to our dressing room and everything like that, it was a really key person to have back in the organization this year. And we're really excited about it.
Anytime you can bring, 6 quality 20-year-olds to camp let's be honest, it's a good problem to have, right? But you can only keep 3, and Rudy's going to be able to have one of those spots. So do you have a timeline as to when you'd like to have those 3 confirmed? And I guess it's kind of a second part question. How often is your phone ringing about those guys and, their availability?
Yeah, I think the whole situation is pretty fluid. Like you said, we're very fortunate as an organization to have that many talented players in camp, and even Simon Mullen plans to join us in a few days at camp for an exhibition game or 2 as well. So they add so much to the camp in terms of caliber, but they're also all excellent people and bring really good experience and leadership with them. And then in terms of when that situation's resolved, I think it's a day by day kind of fluid situation where, a guy like Dylan McKinnon's we'll get an extended look at Boston's NHL camp. Alex Mercier is going to Ottawa's rookie tournament. So, it's just kind of a situation that we'll sort out day to day as we evaluate kind of where each player's at.
I guess I'll get the question that all of our fans are like, ask him this one. Our captain, Caleb Denway, was just put out everywhere that he was going for wrist surgery and out for up to 12 weeks. Did you know this was coming? How does this kind of change your plans, if it changes at all? And just obviously, I assume, I'm going to guess he may be back as just kind of being a captain, or do you have an update on the situation?
Yeah. and Caleb's situation was one where we knew there was a chance that he may need surgery, but I think everybody, Caleb, Utah included, were hopeful that maybe it was a situation that would resolve itself through treatment this summer. But that obviously didn't take place, and it became clear that it was in Caleb's best interest in the short and long term to have the procedure that he did. And everyone's always going to be very supportive of what's best for a player, but in particular Caleb's case. So that was something we found out a couple of weeks ago. And we'll take the recovery as it comes here. And he was a guy that we had planned to probably, I didn't anticipate him having a short tenure at his Utah NHL camp. So, it'll probably, with the procedure now, it'll probably, delay his start in Moncton by maybe a couple weeks more than we were anticipating. But also, we think first and foremost, Caleb's better off for it, and that's the most important thing. But also to get him back, whenever that is, or end of October-ish or something like that, and have him at full health when, he wasn't at full health for a large period of last year. We're just, we're really excited about what that could look like.
So there is a chance he could play before he leaves for the World Juniors, is what you're saying? We won't miss him until the end of January.
Yeah, no, that would be. Again, you never know how these things go, right? Typically with young high performance athletes, they recover under that timeline, but we want to do it responsibly, and sometimes rehab doesn't go as planned, and it goes a little bit longer too. So, like I said, we'll always do what's in the best interest for Caleb, but he's a fiery kid. He doesn't, he wants to play hockey. So, we'll make sure he's responsible and diligent, but we look forward to having him back sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always positive. Yeah. That's some good news. Yeah. Last one for me, Taylor. I think when we had you on kind of post-trade deadline, I asked you about, being from New Brunswick, your feelings on, Bathurst moving to St. John's, and it, obviously being bittersweet, but, fast forward to now, you're going to be defending your title, or the start of the defense of your title in St. John's against the regiment, going full circle from player to GM. How special is that for you to kick off the season on the Rock?
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's an awesome opportunity as our organization to get to take part in that. And it's it's exciting from the organization standpoint, it's exciting from the league standpoint, and obviously personally having a bit of an experience with that fan base and having a chance to live in St. John's for 2 years. I'm thrilled for that market. I'm excited to see that team kind of establish themselves in that city and in that community, and there's no question they'll do very well.
And it's pretty evident the fans are excited for your return, with both games already sold out. So,
I'm sure. Sure, that's all related to me. Definitely. No, they're I would say sold out in spite of, as opposed to as opposed to in anticipation of.
When we talk to a Newfoundland guy, we'll make sure to let him know that it's a big night for to have you back in that building. But obviously it's a quick week and a long week, I guess, for you. So we really appreciate you taking the time, and have a good rest of main camp, and hopefully we can do this more often during the year.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks
Taylor. Yeah. It's much easier to play a GM on a podcast when you don't have to do as much work. Like, that guy is working all the time.
Yeah. And I don't know how he looks so good. he looks so good for his age.
He's gonna love that part.
I mean, he just like his complexion, like he just looks like this. He's glowing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
as stressful of a job it is, like he's glowing. Like,
It doesn't look like he's working all hours of the night.
No, not whatsoever. Like, he's got a young one at home too. Looks like he's sleeping 12 hours a night.
Yeah.
He looks wide awake. I don't know what he's taking in his Starbucks order, but I'd love to know. Clearly it's working for him.
Yeah, it's because he just like I said to Rick at the end of the year, like the quick turnaround, and then Taylor has the same thing, and then into off season and scouting and going to the draft, and then you're here, and then looked like he was in a hotel, so he's probably not going back to Fredericton that often to see his family. Like it's just actually that's probably why, because he's in the hotels, he sleeps like a baby while the baby is at home, right?
That'll do it.
That'll help. All right, you want to talk division previews?
Yeah. If we thought one Taylor was enough on this show, we got another one just for you.
View from the other bench.
All right, something we've done for the past 8 years as camps get underway around the Q. We like to do a Maritimes Division preview, and this time we begin on the island with game day ops coordinator Taylor Stewart. Taylor, how are you tonight?
Great, thanks for having me, guys.
I guess just this season on the island. Last season wasn't where they wanted to be. I saw in an article Jim Holton was saying this is the most competitive group he's brought to camp. I guess. In the first few days, what have you seen from this group?
So we actually just checked in our training camp today. So everyone landed around 3:00 at Simmons Arena in Charlottetown, and they got a couple practices in this evening of white and black, and then tomorrow we go into the inter squad games. We have 2, I believe, tomorrow, and then 1 on Tuesday before our preseason gets underway on Wednesday. So we'll have the Al Cusson Cup going on there at Simmons. So hopefully get the chance to see some of those games. And like you read off Jim's quote there, I think this is probably the most excited I've been since my first year at the team for that finals run. Just a lot of movement, a lot of big bodies coming in, and it's probably, like Jim said, he wished the camp would have started back in June. He was just excited, and we were all just pumped up from how things were looking. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how camp gets along, and I don't think any job is safe. So when that's the case, there's hard decisions to be made, but that also means that you're going to see some really competitive hockey games even before the season gets underway.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously Islanders are a team, they've struggled in the postseason. Just getting out of the first round hasn't exactly been very good to them. Do you see this season kind of being that stepping stone that the franchise needs to take to get to that next level?
Yeah, I do. I think this is going to be a season like we haven't seen in the last 3 years. We've struggled, as you mentioned, 0-12 the last 3 postseasons, just not really been able to get the bounces. Obviously, with how things went leading up to those rebuilds, we were fortunate with some winning seasons, but that also costs you in the after everything is said and done. So we experienced the pain from a couple losing seasons there for the rebuild, but I think after Christmas last year, the guys kind of really were able to turn it around. We got pretty hot there in the second half, and they started to find their identity a bit more. And I think going into this season, just the returning core that we have, they've had some time to grow over the summer, keep training hard, and now they come into camp knowing. And Jim said today he just welcome to camp, but as soon as he was done with welcome to camp, he said, "Summer's officially over. Like, your summer is done now. Mm-hmm. It is time for hockey. We're here for one reason only, to win the Memorial Cup." So he didn't take too long to lay the hammer down with the group of kids that came in today, and I think you're going to see just an Islanders team that's ready to, I don't want to say take a trophy, but I think you're going to see a team that's definitely improved and could make a run at doing something special in the postseason.
Well, we're not exactly ready to give that trophy up just yet, so we'll see how that plays out. But I guess in net, this is season 9, and 9 years of Charlottetown hockey's been a stand on the head goaltender that just gets you wins. Sometimes when you don't think it needs to happen, and sometimes it's just that backbone. You made a deal to bring in Vincent Gladeau. Just talk about kind of what he brings along with Donald Hickey, who I will say has one of the best pictures on the league website with his blocker and glove holding a stick like that. Just talk about those two in the net, and is that a quote unquote foregone conclusion? Those are the goaltenders moving forward, and what can they bring in instability to this team?
I think Hickey for sure is definitely cemented his spot. Obviously, last season under Nicholas Rucha, he was able to come in and kind of take the reins at one point throughout the season. He's just a workhorse. He's the first guy into the building. He's the last guy out when you arrive for a game day. Most players get there 3 hours or so before, but he's there 4, if not 4.5, 5 hours before a game, bouncing the ball off the wall to himself. Got the headphones on. He's an absolute workhorse out of Newfoundland there. Like all off season, he works in a boat with his brother, just chucking, I think it's crabs they do. They're just hauling traps off and on. So the coaching staff was making jokes in Rimouski in the playoffs, saying they should be sending all the guys over to Newfoundland with him for some off-season training. But
yeah, that's in Alberta. It's called farm strength. I think out in the Rock, it's probably called fisherman strength. Like it's a different strength than being at the gym.
No, he's an absolute workhorse though. He's the kind of guy that you want to mold a hockey player after with just his dedication to the game. I don't know a lot about Vincent yet. I got the chance to chat with him for just a couple seconds today when everyone checked in, but from what I've heard from our goalie coach Paul Drew, they loved him. He didn't get, I think he had 22 games or so last year with Blainville. Not exactly a seasoned guy in the queue yet, but they like him a lot. And I think Jack Carter is another big name that people might have forgotten about since last training camp, but he really impressed last year, ended up going to Stansted College. They weren't able to convince him to stay back because he had a commitment there, but I think from the sounds of it, you're looking at probably those three guys. Hickey's probably got a spot. I think everyone can safely feel that one, but I think Gladue is gonna have a good battle on his hands with Jack Carter. Like I said, they loved him last year, and he's here for camp this year again. So I think he's gonna be a name to watch as well.
Yeah, looking at the 20-year-old situation, brought in Tyler Peddle. So that's one of your spots there. I'm not too sure about the other two. I think you got to make an argument for Max Jardine, given his involvement in the community. Where do you see the third 20-year-old spot going this year?
It's tough to say. Like the trading period's still not even closed yet in the QMJHL, so anything could happen from here on out. But like you said, Tyler Peddles, most would assume has a spot locked down. After the trade there, like you said too, with Jardine, he's an all-around great guy. He's committed to the island, plays baseball at the Senior Islanders here, so he stayed here all summer again this year and is back for camp again. He had the chance to go with the baseball Islanders actually to Alberta for the Nationals, for the Senior Men's Nationals, but decided to stay back and skip that opportunity because he knew how important this camp was. Just the fact that he's fighting for a 20-year-old spot, so he's dedicated. And like you said, I think it'd be hard to see the Islanders without Max Jardine, just with the guy he is on and off the ice. And then Leak had a good offseason getting to go to the LA Kings development camp, but Powers trained really hard too back in Ontario, and he's a good guy. I got to catch up with him for a few minutes. I know him a little better than some of the guys on the team, and great guy. I got to chat some hockey and some golf, but I think Jim's gonna have. Obviously, you like to have options, but he's going to have a really tough decision to make there with what ends up happening with that last 20 spot. But I think we're in just as good a shape looking right now. Either way, you have big body and League. Powers, a good face-off guy, and another not that small himself. And they both provide a lot of guts and a lot of energy on the ice. So I'm pretty confident that whoever ends up getting it will be very helpful for our franchise.
I want to talk about a guy that leading up to the trade deadline was probably one of the more common names that I know I talked about to helping teams and getting you guys back a haul, and that's Marcus Kiersey again in his fourth year. Him and Owen Conrad kind of being the stables on that defense. Just talk about what he's going to bring to that decor, like you said, along with Jardine and Conrad in terms of leadership. I can't remember who your captain is, and if it's not him, do you think it will be him going into this season?
Yeah, so Kiersey did have the C last year.
Okay, couldn't remember.
Yeah, but I'm hoping for a bigger jump. Honestly, from what I've seen the last couple of years, he's a pretty good kid off the ice. You did a lot with us, obviously humanitarian of the year season. Jardine then the season before was him, but he's another good kid who provides a lot of energy, loved in the locker room. And with that C on your chest, at going into your 19th season, that's when you really want to see another big jump by a player just to prove who they are on the ice. And I think Kiersey's had a couple pretty solid years here, and now that he's got a little more pressure off his back, in my opinion, with kind of the guys we brought in, our D-core's looking really, really strong and really big. The upgrades we made in the offseason. So I think with a little less pressure on him, he's got some guys back there that'll be able to take some of the heat off his back, and I think that'll help him grow and kind of maybe have hopefully a breakout season at 19 years old with the help he's got.
Yeah, this is the first time we have been on the show, so I know, and being on the Islanders payroll, I know this question might be a little difficult for you, but we usually get our preseason guests to give us their league finals prediction.
I thought you were going to go a different question.
No.
I thought you were going to ask about Provencher.
Oh, no, it's okay. You can ask about that one, but I wasn't sure where we were going. But
it's all good.
We're not new.
It's our training camp too.
It's our training camp too. Yeah, exactly. So mistakes happen, but yeah, it's always tough to. I know it's gonna be tough to not pick your team to make it to the finals. So, I mean, who do you see realistically maybe ending up facing off against each other? In beginning of May of next year.
Oh well, I was actually looking at this a little earlier. I think Blainville is gonna be really strong this year. Yeah. Just looking at their roster, the additions they made in the offseason, I think it's pretty safe to say their intentions are pretty clear now in the league that they're taking this year as their go for it year. So Blainville's probably gonna be pretty tough to take down. Chicoutimi is always interesting to me. They made a couple moves last year. They always seem to be kind of adding and subtracting at the same time, if that makes sense, where you're not quite sure what's happening, but they got a couple good players there still in Messe and Wang's there as well. And I think they're going to be good again this year. And then you guys over in Moncton, obviously the Cup champs last year, and I don't think there's a whole lot of subtraction that was done to that roster. You got quite the 20 situation right now from what I can remember, trying to pick what that's going to end up being. But obviously with that many, or whoever you end up with is going to be good, and hopefully be able to bring in some pieces if there's some trades. If you obviously can't keep them all, and then hopefully one can always hope we go for a deep run as well. I think this is going to be quite the year of a difference from what we've seen the last three. I think it's a strong team. I think that, like I said, the D-core has gotten huge. A couple 6'3", 6'4" guys coming in, big physical guys. The goalie situation is going to be solid, and I think if with the group we have now up front, we're already ahead of last year, and then there's still the Ivan Ryabkin card out there that if that all comes together and we get to welcome him to the island, I think that just separates us even further, and it's going to be a heck of a team offensively.
All right, well, you named the final four, so now you got to pick two, and we're not holding to this. We'll have you on around the trade deadline. You can change your prediction, but now we need the two finals there. You named the final four, so what's your two?
All right, I'll go Blainville, and then I have to say us. Okay. Yeah, but
for the sake of your job security.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do believe we got a special group coming in, but I think Blainville's also probably going to be a really tough team coming into the West there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, as long as I've been here, it's been Holton Hockey, and he gets the most out of the little. And now he's got a team that's got something, and so it'll be interesting to see how they translate that to the on ice. It's going to be a competitive division. Taylor, we appreciate you taking the time and being our second Taylor on tonight's show. And hopefully we can have you on around the draft and see how you guys are making out, or the trade deadline. I mean,
thanks guys. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's kind of I'm excited to see what, like I said there, Holton Hockey, when he doesn't have the best roster, gets the most out of him. And it's funny. Was it year 4? We were like, is his leash running? Is his vision running? 5 years later, he's still there, and still, that's a city and that's a province, because they all love the team, that deserves a playoff run.
Yeah, it's the island has been, I guess, blessed with the Summerside Capitals and all the wins that they've brought back to the island, and I think it's time for the Islanders to make that next step. And it's two Taylors on the episode. Ironically, has nothing to do with the new Taylor Swift album to be released on October 3rd. The Life of a Showgirl.
All right. And we move from Taylor Swift and we continue to look around the division. We head to Nova Scotia. We head to Halifax. We're going to bring on a first-time guest. He's the host of the Mooseheads Nation Podcast from Halifax, Dustin Larad. Dustin, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys, Adam and Jeremy? How are you doing?
Thanks for
having me.
We're not bad. It's camp season. We get to slowly ramp this thing back up, so it's going pretty well. I guess I'll start with the change behind the bench. And I think this is the third coach in 3 years for the Mooseheads, which, when I got here, it didn't seem like that was a thing. It was Moncton that had 7 coaches in 7 years, something like that. But yeah, Andrew Lord out, Brad McKenzie in. I guess just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, great for Andrew. Certainly, he's familiar with the Kings organization, being with the Swamp Rabbits before in the ECHL. So great fit for him. Obviously, selfishly, you would hope he would have stayed a bit longer because of what he was able to do in his first year with that young team. He got the best out of them. I mean, but Brad's been here for, I think this will be his 4th or 5th. I think it's his 5th year, going into his 5th year. And he's got a lot of experience. And I think he has a very similar mindset to Andrews. And I think that team's really going to pull behind him as well. So it's great to see him get to be moved up there. And I think it's a really nice move on the Simons part to put that in place right away, so there's no guessing game for us as who's coming in, and we've got a familiar face. So
Brad McKenzie, it was his time. I think I would have been. It's funny because when you're a Moncton fan and you get upset when your rival doesn't make the right decision, something's wrong. Right. So Brad McKenzie he's been through it. Over the years that he's been in Halifax, so it was good that it was his it's his team to take over. So I was happy with that move. Obviously, Mooseheads have kicked off their training camp. What have you seen so far? Have you been to the scrimmages? And I guess first impressions.
Yeah, this morning they had an intra-squad game, and there was one in the afternoon too. I didn't catch that because I'm actually in Moncton right now. So I came up after the first intra-squad game, and a few things that stood out to me. Oleg Kulibiakin, one of the imports. I mean, just the lower body strength on that kid already, like he looks like he's going to be hard to move off the puck, and his skill. He scored 1 goal, I think, in each game, if I read correctly. So he's looking good. Will Bent, returning player too. Like he just looks like he's good. He was good, but he looks like he's got something to prove right now. I think he had 4 goals in the second game, the intra-squad game, and he's 17, right? So he was showing a lot and really showing up. Someone that just looked like a force, Connor McPherson, that the Moose have brought in. I'll be honest, I forget where he's coming in from, the V's, I think, but he's big guy. Like that's going to be a nice big power forward, and I feel that's something that we were probably lacking last year, being a young team and perhaps undersized compared to when we had to go against the Wildcats and some of the other teams. So I think that's huge for us. And Malik L'Italien, like their first rounder on defense, just smooth as butter too. Like on the ice, he's got the size. Like I'd be very shocked he doesn't make that roster because he looked like in control. And I mean, again, just intra-squad, but he had a dominating presence. So those were some of the ones that looked pretty good. And I mean, I got to see a few other folks, players that I've had a chance to interview that looked good as well, like Jaden Napon, Nathan Ruel. He's a big kid too for how young he is. And Cameron Manello, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. Like he looks like a little Quinn Hughes as well. I mean, he's probably taller than him, but he just seems to he's elusive. And so it's exciting seeing that. Obviously it's day one and the intra-squad games. but I think there's going to be some real tough choices for Brad and Cam to whittle this roster down. Like, they all look really good. So that's exciting.
When you look at the Mooseheads the past couple seasons, obviously you had LaRue and Denoyer leadership. You had McKinnon, Vidicek leadership. Last year you had Brady McPhee and Schultz in the leadership role. I mean, this is a young team, and I mean, you guys have had one of the better documentaries in the CHL, so I've been watching that because I just love that kind of stuff. And there was a tough ability to score, and it's a young group again. And I guess just where do you see this leadership coming from? You only have one 20-year-old as a free agent right now, but I guess just where do you see leadership on this team moving forward with such a young group?
I guess from what I've seen last year, not being in the inner circle, if I was to make a guess, obviously Owen Phillips, who was an alternate captain last year, and was certainly someone the Moose could always count on the back end with Brady Schultz when he was here. I would really see him as forming part of that, and of course Sean Carrier too. Like, he strikes me as the type that is gonna keep the team in check and motivate, and he seems to carry himself that way. And I guess those are the two that I would see as the leadership. But that's all I can say. The rest is pretty young, right? So it'll be interesting to see who they choose.
I think Danny Walters, I think, is probably the future captain of the Mooseheads, right? So I think to give him maybe an A in his second season.
Carlos Handel too.
Yeah.
Good call. Yeah, that's true.
To give him an A is like, just to have him part of that leadership group, because he's probably getting that C, not this season, but the season after. So I agree with you. Yeah, he's just his work ethic is unbelievable. Like you mentioned, only one 20-year-old, which is so there's obviously going to be some moves to make, because you want to be able to bring in that additional leadership. Where do you see maybe the need the most in terms of maybe addressing those other two 20-year-old spots?
I mean, for me, I would think hopefully they're going to find a 20-year-old center to maybe carry the second line. Someone that's going to be able to shut down Moncton, number one. Of course, K. Breton, strong. Like,
good luck with that.
I know. So I would think, like, as you've mentioned, like, scoring goals wasn't a huge strength last year, and we were very grateful we had Steinman in the net to help us out there in the end of the year. I think they needed a very strong leader as a center. That's the biggest need I would see. So wouldn't hurt if we could get two. I know there's a few 20-year-olds on your team that I'm hoping could swing over here. That'd be nice, because they would have that winning pedigree and could really help us to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
How about no? We've given you enough. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, you guys got a few Mooseheads as well, right? With Crosby.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
that's true.
Vidicek. So
I think Crosby and McKinnon, if they're back, they can't go.
They can't go back.
They can't go back.
No.
Yeah, they can't be traded back like the next year, kind of thing. I guess just the last one for me, and I always talk about goaltending in training camp. Jack Milner last year, Sam Madgett got some playing time, but then you guys made a move with Shawinigan to get Owen Breeson. Is it kind of a three-headed monster, and whoever takes the crease takes the crease, or do you see it kind of a guy coming out of camp that could maybe cement one of those spots or steal one of those spots, I guess, like a fluid situation all year?
Right. Yeah. I mean, certainly someone that stood out this morning, Circa, looked pretty good. They were having a hard time getting anything by him in the first period he played, and he looked, with being able to move across and having been able to see him for a few games last year, like, I think he's got that experience. I guess I would see it as Circa and is it Bresson? I'm not even sure.
Bresson. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think to your point, yeah, it's probably going to be a 2 to 3 headed monster till they get that figured out. But we got a little bit spoiled with Steinman for the last part of the year, and of course having Russo before. So that's going to be some big shoes to fill, no doubt.
Yeah. I guess last one for me, and being a first-time guest like yourself, Dustin, it's we usually do this every preseason where we ask our guests to give us their league finals prediction. So if you can look at maybe the few of the contenders and pick two who will face off against each other in early May.
I think we have to count Moncton in, as hard as it is as a Mooseheads fan. Say that.
I like this guy.
Yeah. he can come back.
Yeah, he can come back. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Pretty easy. As long as you pick us, you can keep coming back. So.
Well, I did pick that was, it was hard to do, but it was hard. I think a lot of people had the Wildcats to win it right last year. They were just so strong. And I would like to say, like, the pieces they got from the Mooseheads, I think that really fit in, and some of the missing pieces that you may have had. Of course, there's the MacDougall effect as well, which was key. I would say for a final, I think we can't really disregard all the moves that Olivier Picard is making over there with the Armada. Like, Zonin is a beast, right? Got to see him in the playoffs just manhandle the Mooseheads last year in the second round. So adding Zonin, and they added a few other players, but like Spencer Gill from Rimouski, massive defense. Like, they're going for it, right? Adding him, and then they've also bolstered their goaltending with Melota from the Eagles, and I know I'm missing someone, but those additions, I think they're going for it. So I think, for me, as hard as it is to say, I see a Wildcats Armada final. I am very hopeful the Moose can replicate and get another first round win like they did this year, which was a bit of a nice surprise. That division with Cape Breton getting stronger, and the regiment are going to be a force as well. So those would be the two, though. Armada, Wildcat finals is my prediction. And I hate to say it, it's hard to not see the Wildcats repeat with the pieces you have. But I think, I don't see a repeat for sure. I feel the Mooseheads are going to put a big push coming up here. But that's my prediction.
First time guest. He's got a spot forever.
He's locked.
You're picking us to go back to back. You're locked in for forever. And of course, if you want to pop by the trade deadline show, which you're more than welcome to, and I'll reach out to you again. We do something in December kind of thing. You can make different predictions based on how the season's going. And I know Glenville, one of the sneakier ads that they made that people will kind of wonder was Collard. Like, it's not really sneaky, but his ability to play up and down the lineup and score, that's the addition that they made that I was like, that's going to be one of their better additions.
The Wildcats, yeah. Sorry for
that's probably the player
mistake missing him, but call it. Yeah.
So, he's going to be fantastic. Appreciate your time. We'll let you get out of here, but as a first time guest and a new podcast up in Halifax, just where can people find you if they want to stay abreast on any Halifax news?
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. So on Instagram, so I'm not the official one. We've got Moose Country with Brad Kesner and Scott, which is an awesome one. Please give that a listen. But for mine, it's called Mooseheads Nation. So on Instagram, Mooseheads Nation is the handle. On X, similar, and Mooseheads Nation at Gmail. If anyone wants to email me, I think those are the places you can find me. But like, I'm on all the appropriate podcasts now. We've been able to get a little bit more professional. Nowhere where you guys are at. Like, I'm pretty impressed just how this has started and being in the backstage and everything. So I'm hoping to maybe switch the video now. This will be great. But on Apple Podcasts, or we're on all the platforms now, as far as I know. So
perfect. Well, hopefully you get some subscribers from this. And if you have any questions on how any of this works, just reach out to me. I can give you as much knowledge as I can and what we've been able to do for the past 9 years. So thanks for jumping on tonight, man. And you have a good job, and you have a good night.
I always enjoy listening to you guys. Take care.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. See you.
It's always good to start looking around. That's how the season started, when you start looking at other teams. And we'll go to Halifax. I think they'll be better than St. John, but it all depends on goaltending. St. John, again, is so young, but they do have a lot of talent. But I think those are the two that you'd like to see St. John take a step, just because it's been too many years that they haven't been able to take a step. But it'll be interesting. I don't see them I see both of those battling for a final playoff spot again.
Yeah, I think this division, I think ourselves and Newfoundland will kind of be the two. And then you'll probably see Charlottetown, and then Cape Breton, and then the final two will be St. John and Halifax. So they'll battle it out. The fortunate part is, realistically, I think all 5 Maritime teams make the playoffs. or Atlantic teams. My apologies, Atlantic.
Yeah.
I think St. John is better this year,
Mhm.
and Halifax will come down to their goaltending and who they can bring in as the two other 20-year-olds. If they can get impact guys that are going to put some pucks in the net, and shut down the opposition their opposition as well.
Mhm.
If they can do that, I'm pretty confident all five will make the postseason.
I feel like when you look at what this division will be, and of course Newfoundland will be like one of the top teams as they were poised to be with where they were last year, and obviously Cape Breton falls off a little bit. Charlottetown moves up. I don't think you're going to see that 30-point first team lead, not even 20 points. I think this will be more of a 8 to 9 point division win for whoever takes it. And of course, there's no division winning anymore because the league got rid of it, but whatever. I think it's going to be a competitive division where that last month of games where we're playing all the teams in our division will be games that actually matter.
Yeah. And that's what you want, right? You, as much as we want to, get first place and all that, I don't think you're going to have another season where, we win 50 games. I just don't see that happening again. But
if it does, we will be the cockiest podcast of life.
Yeah. They'll be, that's going to be tough.
You're right. Like last year we had the franchise record streak to play for.
Yeah.
If we had lost one of those games, like the end of games just kind of don't matter because your division is so out of whack.
Yeah. So I think things are going to be a little more competitive, and in the division, that's what you want. You want things to be close, and you want to be playing meaningful games. Once the calendar flips to March, and I think we will be this year.
And it's actually, when I bring up the schedule in March, we have Gatineau and we have Blainville at the end of the year.
Love it.
We don't even play Blainville till November.
That'll be a matchup.
And that's the Thursday night game, a dreaded Thursday night game.
What date is that?
November 6th.
Okay.
It's the first of the 3 and 4 between on one of the road trips, Blainville, Sherbrooke, and Rimouski.
Yeah.
And then the Val-d'Or one they get in February, late February.
Ugh, probably 65 centimeters of snow.
Yeah. They do both two of the 3 in November. They do the Victoriaville, Shawinigan, Drummondville, 3 and 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the end of the month there. So it's a decent schedule in terms of getting some Quebec teams later on in the year. They spread Newfoundland out though. We don't actually see Newfoundland at home until December 17th.
Right before the trade deadline.
Yeah. And again, the trade deadline's different this year. Usually there was that Saturday game and then the kids go home. And this year it's the 17th and 18th, the Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, there's 2 games. And then the team's on a break from the 19th till the 27th.
Wow.
So shorter break this season. So it's
thanks a lot, Newfoundland.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. That'll do it for this week. Some housekeeping for the preseason. We're going to do a show every second week. Just the way the inter-squad games hit, and we can only talk about so many things so often for 6 weeks. So we're going to do every other week. And then once the season starts, we'll be in your home each and every week. I do believe we will be back on Rogers TV, but I'm waiting for an email on that. So here's hoping that happens again. Again, massive thanks to the general manager of our Moncton Wildcats, Taylor MacDougall, for joining us to give us a little insight on the offseason and the camp so far. And again, thanks to Charlottetown Islander Game Day Ops Taylor Stewart and Mooseheads Nation Podcast Dustin Larad for joining us to preview the upcoming season for them. 2 weeks from now, we have the leader in the clubhouse, the Mr. Jamie Tozer.
Oh, he's coming back to defend his title.
He's coming back to defend his title. We're actually looking for a new third. Pat moves up to third, or up to second now.
Oh, that's right.
Because Johnny Rocket is now with the Charlar Lightning.
Oh, well, maybe we can have a new Junior A update.
Oh, we could have a junior. Oh, maybe yes. Yeah. See if he comes back for that. But yeah, Pat moves into second. So now I've really got to rack my brain on who moves into third. But congrats, Pat.
Taylor MacDougall's got to be moving up here.
Who?
Taylor MacDougall.
Taylor MacDougall's got to move. Yeah, I think this is third time on the show.
Yeah.
4th time on the show. So, but yeah, every second week for the preseason, then each and every week until the end of the year. So it was good to be back.
I'm happy to be here.
Perfect.
And
I'm
I'll
happy
be
to have
back
you
in
here.
2 weeks.
Yes, perfect. For Jeremy, I'm Adam. See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcats Podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.